The little acorn that grew into a giant oak tree. Once upon a time, there was a little acorn. It was small and brown, and it fell from a tall oak tree to the ground below. The little acorn was scared. It had never been on the ground before, and it did not know what to do. But then, something amazing happened. The little acorn began to sprout. A small green shoot pushed up from the soil, and it began to grow taller and taller. The little acorn was turning into a big oak tree. As the little oak tree grew, it stretched its branches towards the sky. It reached for the sun and the rain, and it soaked up all the nutrients from the soil. The little oak tree grew taller and stronger every day. Years passed, and the little oak tree was no longer little. It was a giant oak tree, towering over the forest below. It provided shade for animals on hot summer days, and it sheltered birds in its branches. The little acorn had grown into a mighty oak tree, and it was one of the most important trees in the forest. But how did the little acorn turn into a giant oak tree? It all comes down to science. Inside the little acorn was a tiny plant embryo. This tiny embryo had everything it needed to grow into a giant oak tree, including the ability to take in nutrients from the soil and to convert sunlight into energy through photosynthesis. As the little oak tree grew, it sent out roots into the soil to collect water and nutrients. It also used its leaves to capture sunlight and convert it into energy through photosynthesis. This process allowed the little oak tree to grow bigger and bigger until it became the giant oak tree we know today. So the next time you see a tiny acorn on the ground, remember that it has the potential to grow into a giant oak tree with the help of science.